UFC Fight Night 183, Thompson versus Neal. We've got the picks coming up, and then I'll go through with reasons why I am picking the fighter right after I go through the picks. These are picks that I'm going to use to part ways with my money to try to beat my friends in DraftKings. Here we go. We got Christos Giagos over Carlton Minus. Cody Durden beating Jimmy Flick. Tafon Canucci over Jamie Pickett. Jillian Robertson over Taylor Santos. Darren Wynn beating Antonio Arroyo. Pannie Kianzad over Sujara Eubanks. Greg Hardy over Marcin Tybura. Rob Font over Marlon Moraes. Alex Morano taking on Anthony Pettis, getting the job done. Chaos Williams to beat Michael Pereira Lima. Marlon Vera to beat Jose Aldo, and Jeff Neal beating Stephen Thompson. There's my picks, and I will go ahead and give reasoning on them. Alright, real quick, let's go into the reasons why. So for the first fight, honestly, Carlton just looks like he didn't want to be there. He goes into round 3 a lot, and this is going to be at a catchweight. As the heavier person, I'm going to assume he just isn't as fit to go a full 3 strong rounds. Fight number 2, Cody Durden. Now, I like Cody Durden here because Durden is Tyler Durden's last name, and for you Fight Club fans, his brother is a fighter, so I think, or family member. Anyway, in all seriousness, Cody Durden, he does train with ATT in Atlanta. I'll go with that. Tafon, I mean, this guy's nickname is the Cameroon Express. He's got 4 knockouts. He's undefeated. He hasn't left the second round. I'm going to get on the bandwagon early here. I mean, his nickname says it all, Express. We kind of have to hop on. Taylor Santos, Jillian Robertson. Honestly, I don't know much about these fighters, but I'm going to go with Taylor Santos because she didn't dye her hair red, and that's nothing against people with red hair, but what are your priorities, your hair or, getting in a fight? I'm not so sure if that has anything to do with it, but we'll see tonight if I eat my words with that one. Darren Wynn versus Antonio Arroyo. Honestly, this is a hard one to pick. This guy looks absolutely huge in the face-off, but Darren Wynn is affiliated with DC, so he knows how to fight as the smaller man. I think he can go and win 3 rounds wrestling DC style. You hope you're getting a budget DC. I'm just not so sure if that's true. And the size difference here is honestly bigger than any size difference I feel like I've seen Daniel Cormier in. Pannie Kianzad, she's 29. She's in her prime of age physically, I feel like. I don't know how that works exactly, but I have to assume Sujara Eubanks, she's kind of over the hill. She's much older, and while I feel like she kind of is a fan favorite, I don't think the UFC's trying to do you any favors. I mean, they just let go of Yoel Romero, so I could see Pannie Kianzad getting the push. The matchmakers know what they're doing. They're gonna kind of give her a push there. Greg Hardy versus Tybura. This is another hard one. Tybura has just been on a tear if you've seen him fighting, but I feel like Greg Hardy is meant to be pushed. The UFC matchmakers know what they're doing. They're going to try to get him a knockout the easiest way they think they can, and I think that's through Marcin Tybura in this scenario. Rob Font versus Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes, he's gotten his title shot. I think he's had a few contender shots. I think it's time to try to put some new faces into that division. So Rob Font, I think, is the guy they're going to try to push here. A lot of my basis is going to be off of age and who I think the UFC is going to try to push, and you can see that logic being applied into the next fight. Alex Morano, I mean, Anthony Pettis, he's done a lot for the sport, a lot for the organization, and I think he's going to continue giving to the sport and organization, and that he's going to help push Alex Morano. He's going to be a big name for him to take, and I think that Morano is going to take this one and get into the rankings, and it'll probably be the beginning of the end if we're not already in it for Anthony Pettis there. Chaos Williams, this is a hard one. I mean, Michael Pereira Lima was doing some weird stuff in the weigh-in face-off, and it honestly looked pretty athletic and intimidating, if I do say so myself. They're both in incredible shape. Chaos Williams has not smiled since he entered the UFC, and he's just been knocking people out like crazy. I'm going with Chaos Williams. Marlon Vera versus Jose Aldo. I mean, I've been burned so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've been burned just going with the legends, the fighter that's I'm emotionally invested in. Tony Ferguson losing just last weekend. I'm done doing it. I'm going with who I think the UFC is trying to push. Marlon Vera just beat Sean O'Malley. He's got a good win under his belt that he's coming off of. Jose Aldo, he's on his way out. I mean, I think the matchmakers know what they're doing, and if I'm the matchmakers, I'm trying to push Marlon Vera, and the same is going to be applied yet again to the last fight with Jeff Neal versus Stephen Thompson here. Now, this is a very hard one to fight, or to hard fight to pick, because Stephen Thompson, I mean, after that fight with Vicente Luque, I believe his name is, that was such a good fight, and Stephen Thompson, that was only a year or two ago, so he's essentially the same age, which is like near 40, but at any rate, I'm going to go with Jeff Neal here. I feel like if I'm the UFC, I'm trying to get Jeff Neal to push, and, I think the matchmakers know what they're doing. I think they're really good at putting on good fights, but I think they're also really good at maybe, trying to put it in their favor in terms of who they do want to win. I haven't looked at the Vegas odds or fight odds for any of these fights, and that's probably going to influence which ones I decide to pick for my DraftKings lineup. I only get 6 fighters. And then next week we'll go ahead and see how I did. But anyway, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.